All right, so I'm gonna show you the difference between, this is for the upgraded chassis kit, right? It sits flat, and then the stock plastic one, it's got this little indentation thing. It's, it's really just because of how the chassis is shaped. So this one's not an issue because there's plenty of space right here. You can just put the little threaded inserts in, no worries. But this one, you can see that threaded insert is going to sit right on that edge. So this is going to serve as the instruction video for installing that threaded insert. All right, so you need some sort of, soldering iron or press. You need your brass inserts, and then I like to use these long ones just because it's going to get hot. But my daughter's going to go ahead and install this. So you press in your insert. Pretty common sense, and these are the ones you're going to start with right here. Okay, hold that for a second, Matt, just because I only got one hand now. You're going to thread it in while it's still hot, press it down on the table, and then make sure this screw right here, right, while the plastic's still hot, is aligned straight. So you can get a little, left and right movement out of this thing while the plastic is still soft from being heated. All right, so you're going to thread that in, press down hard onto the table, and make sure it's flat. Because what you're doing is once you install that threaded insert, it'll bow up and it'll, stick out right there. And then you're not going to be able to get a good flat, mount onto your chassis. So you can see how it's softened it up right there. So install, put a 3mm screw in there, and then press it down flat, and then you're going to use that to align it, straight. A screw works really well because the distance from the base of that head to the base of this mount keeps that screw perfectly aligned. And then you just got to check your alignment this way. So, sorry again, one-handed. Madeleine's going to do the next one. All right. Spin it around this way, Matt. Turn the whole part around so they can see how it kind of bows out on the bottom. Turn it back towards me a little bit so you can see. Nope, keep turning, keep turning. Keep turning, keep turning. Pick a direction.
I did.
Turn more. All right, that's good. All right, could y'all see that? How it kind of bows? Yeah, you can see that. How it's kind of bowing out on the bottom. So, while that plastic is still soft, you can press down on this metal surface. That'll realign it. And then use that screw to make sure alignment's good. All right, now she's just doing the bottom ones. I want to show you something. Right, I like to use, these are the 45mm long ones that go all the way through the chassis. I like to use these just because when I'm doing a bunch, this gets hot because I'm using it to straighten these out. So, she's kind of my helper on these. She'll install them, and then, what I like to do is put the screw in there, and then, she's much better than me. You can see it's like perfectly straight that way, and then this way it's a little crooked, but since that plastic is still soft, you can kind of use your screw as an alignment tool, right? So I would say have one of these screws handy. The longer the better, just to keep your fingers from getting burnt, because it's hot down there. Yeah, right there. It's hot. So all right, so now what we're gonna do, you can see how on the bottom it it squishes up that extra plastic. You're just gonna take an X-Acto knife or razor blade and just cut that off so it's flat. If you really want to take it to the next level, get you some sandpaper, rub it on there afterwards to make sure this flat surface is still flat and doesn't have these, those pieces sticking up like that. So that's it.